What's good with it, Black Goose TV family? Y'all see us, we here. It's been a little minute, but it don't matter because at the end of the day, we in the game. You feel me? Full court pressure. You feel me? Half court press, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. Me and Zen, we back up in it. Fluence and Zen, how you feeling in this motherfucker? What's good with it, Zen? How you feeling, though?
What's
Try to give
good,
y'all something
y'all?
spectacular. My bad.
Yeah, man. We ain't been here in about a week, but it's all good. You feel me? Life be moving and grooving, and we just gotta adapt to what's going on in this joint.
That's what we doing, man. We doing nothing but adapting. So hopefully y'all can adapt with us, Black Goose TV family, man. We here nonetheless, man. And with that being said, if y'all hop up in here, we finna have some good times, man. We have a lot to talk about. Whole lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like Jen said, we ain't been here for about a week or so. So we got to catch up on some things. So it's gonna be a good time tonight. So anybody who pops up in here, man, make sure y'all hit that like button below. Notification gang, so whenever we drop in any type of content. You already know, comment on this joint to help with the algorithm. And the most important thing, nigga, we
Right.
on the road to 5K. You feel me? So come
On
on,
the
5K
road,
subscribers before the end of the year. 5K, 5K. So hit that subscribe button. Go crazy with it.
share that
And,
joint
and show
too,
love.
man. Share it to people, man.
Yeah, share that joint, man. Anybody who don't got no good entertainment, because niggas got too much time nowadays. You feel me? A lot of people want to think that we got too much, too much shit to watch, too much information. But that's really not the case because at the end of the day, everybody likes what they like. So really, if you have a preference, it's really not enough shit out there. You know what I'm saying, to keep you occupied when you got free time. In my personal opinion, so share it to somebody. You never know, man. They might be hopping with this. They might be, fucking with whatever we putting out there. But anyways, man, let's get right into it. You know what I'm saying? Salute to anybody who's up in here, man. Back again after a long time, but you know what I'm saying, like we never left. So what's good with it, Zen, man? Anything you want to talk to the people about? You already know what the fashion. We already come in. You know what I'm saying? We rate the day out of 5. I feel like we haven't done this in forever, to be 100 with you. So,
What you want in the
you know what
week?
I'm saying? You can rate your day out of 5, and you can even tell us about maybe anything else that may have happened. Since the last time we've been up in this joint, that maybe the people would be interested in hearing. You know what I'm saying?
You want to do like a whole week recap or just today?
I say rate today, and then just tell the people about anything that's happened in the week. You feel me? That you feel like you want to go ahead and share with the people. You know what I'm saying?
Today, man. I mean, I didn't really do a whole lot to be real with you. Like I told you, before we got on, like excuse me. You feel me? I woke up early. Me and the homie, we went to the sand dunes. Got some work in. Did some sprints, 10 sprints straight up, full speed, and then back pedal back down, and then ran all the way to the top 3 times. The first 2 times was good. The last time was very hard because I was gassed and my leg. It wasn't like my cardio was weak. It was my legs like that was trying to go faster, but they couldn't. Boy, it was just because it's a very steep hill. And yeah, so did that, and then I came home, made some food, and took a nap. So now we here. So I mean, I was like doing stuff on my phone, but like nothing like crazy. So yeah, it wasn't it was more like of a rest day because the week before was a little longer. But yeah, man. So if I had to rate it, I'd say like a 4.3. Nothing but bad, but not the greatest, but just a cool day.
And anything that happened, you know what I'm saying, since we haven't been here in a minute. It's been a while since we did the Fluence and Zen. And then also too, you know what I'm saying, there was no Fluence on this past weekend. Nothing was happening in boxing, nothing like that. So I'm like, if there was anything that happened in the past weekend, you want to talk to the people about, let them know. You feel me? Anything you feel like they would be interested in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, shit. Last weekend I was working in Adidas camp. My boy, that was my coach at college. He works for them, and he was like, "You want to work the event?" So I ended up working the event, and I was there for like 5 days. Well, I got there Tuesday night, but I was there for 5 days working it. Just got to see, the upcoming talent or whatever is going on, and
It's probably dope.
it's crazy though. I don't know what these kids eating, flu, but these kids bounce is retarded. Like,
Yeah, they different, bro. They way better than us. We weak
bounce
compared to the niggas
wise.
nowadays.
But
Like
we
we
talking about bounce. I'm not talking about IQ and toughness because I
that's it.
take
But I'm like, that don't matter. No, I'm like, at that young of an age, does that matter? You feel me? I think we looking at it different. I think the development that we see in these kids at the age they are compared to when we was, I'm like I remember there were certain players we would be in awe of during our time. Like those just that's regular nowadays. That's
No, for
almost like you know what I'm saying. Like
but the IQ and the toughness ain't there though. Like I saw a lot of bad basketball, like just a lot of plays where it's just like, why are they doing this? Why like a team
we
was
was
up.
playing a lot of bad basketball as kids too, nigga. Come on now, don't get twisted.
I'm not saying ours was
We in
excellent,
there.
but I'm saying as far as just like the IQ, I feel like we played our defense was better. Like games were, not as and I say this, it just to me, this is my opinion because I seen it and then I played back in the day. We we had I say dudes that were just like the dudes that were nice, if that makes sense. You feel me? Like they were in and out, like just everything they did was just more just like, like think about like, Brandon Jennings or something like that. Like this weekend, I didn't see nothing of that caliber where it was like, yo, that dude right there got it. Like they were good, but it wasn't like, yo, like he's a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't see that with my eyes. Now I didn't see every single game, so maybe I could have missed some talent, right? But this is just my opinion, right? Everybody else, somebody else could probably like you're tripping. But what I was seeing, I'm just like, I didn't see nothing that was like, yo, like his game is crazy, like or his handle or how he just gets to his spots is like, he's just, because remember, we played against dudes that was like, yo, that dude is nice. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm on the spectrum of now, where and it's probably and it could come into because y'all don't know I'm probably like 2 years older than Zen because I'm like so me and Zen we're in the same era but at the same time like there's a little bit of a gap. So it's like what I'm appreciating is the fact that I agree with you. Yeah, the IQ, the way that you play basketball isn't the same way, and the pressure that we had to play a particular way isn't on these kids today. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you were a certain height, nigga, this is the position you played, and you couldn't do anything else. I don't give a fuck what you were good at. This is what you need to do. If you weren't good in this aspect, but you played a certain position, you got to get good at that aspect. There's no ulterior. Now kids have more freedom where it's like, if this is what you're good at, we're going to figure out a way for it to fit in with everyone else. So there's more of a freedom, which means you don't necessarily have that dog that stands out. But I think that's the reason why you saw a dog standing out during our time more so was because there would be a lot of good players, but it's like, well, no, nigga, this is your height. This is what I see you're good at. This is where you need to be at. Like coaches had a lot more reign during our time. You feel what I'm saying? Like we were at the like whatever they said, that's what we had to do. And if this was the guy we went through, that was the guy we went through. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you could have two or three players where you're not really sure if they're really that good, but you see a couple of moments where you're like, God damn, and you're willing to just follow them off of that or think they have potential because of that, because you can envision them in a role that's like, I can fit that into this because that's what it is now. It's no more saying that you have to fit into this. It's now saying, oh, I can create something for you that will really make you be that dude. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you, but I also see like now where the times are, it's like the coaches, like it's the coaches don't have as much say, if that makes sense. It's more of a free. So that's why we don't see like that one player where it's like, damn, that nigga is
and don't get
cold.
me wrong, there was a dude on David West. He has a team up there. So there was a dude on this David West team. He had it. I'm not gonna lie, he had it. Like he went in and out, blue body dude, took off outside the lane, punched on him. I said, oh my God. Like it was crazy, Flu. I'm like, that looked like a pro league move, like on some like A. Wiggins type shit. And he only 16. I'm like, damn, he probably gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he probably gonna go. Just how his and I was talking to Dave, he was like, kid only started playing basketball 2 years ago. I said, damn.
But that's a lot of times with the case. So he's probably gonna go, of course, just because of that simple factor. He just started playing, he can do that. Like that's one of the anomalies. Like that's one of the things too. I know this is random, but I'm gonna be releasing. I've been saying I'm gonna do it, but I had to create. We'll get into. I had a crazy ass weekend, but I'm going to release the videos, the keys to why Jake Paul can beat Rockman and vice versa. But people have this weird perception where, like, look at Jake Paul. I know this is weird. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? Just bear with me. Jake Paul isn't as good as a boxer as Logan Paul, because when you watch Logan Paul, he looks a lot more comfortable. Like you can tell he's doing a lot more things comfortably, and he looks natural. Where Jake Paul, he looks stiff. You're able to, telegraph, etc. But it's like you have to understand when it comes to sports, like it's not about necessarily being able to pick up something quickly that makes you an athletic freak. It's being able to have something that's an anomaly that someone else doesn't have that can make you a freak, and someone being like, I'm going to take my chances with you and I'm going to see where this goes. It doesn't always have to be, oh, I look amazing. Like I never boxed before, but look at me, nigga. I look like Muhammad Ali. It's not always that. Sometimes it's the dude who looks mad uncomfortable, but then he can throw a right hand out of motherfucking hell and be like, and just, you know what I'm saying? Send someone to oblivion. You like, all right, this motherfucker cannot box, but if he touches you with his hand, you done. So some people are willing to take a risk. So it's similar to kind of what you just saying now, roll it back to basketball. It's like, he's only started 2 years ago. You've seen everything together, all that stuff, but you can put that same reference to someone who had a growth spurt, right? They wasn't even hooping, but they got him into hooping. It's like, we're going to put everything behind you because I'm like, we see, the potential, because your anomaly may not be that you look so comfortable out there, but it's because I can see you fitting in the NBA system. So that's what I was kind of, referencing to. I'm like, these young cats is like, now it's like they're not as polished, but their athleticism is like, okay, I can see this person fitting. Like once he's grown, I can see that even though he doesn't have the, the ins and out, the quickness, the IQ, like this dude is an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? And that's always
but it's crazy, Flu. Like, I don't know, maybe I missed him. But not a lot of white dudes when we was playing had bounce, bro. This one white dude boomed on this dude, 15 years old, came down the lane. They had dished it to him. He just jumped up and punched that shit. I was like, what the hell?
That's the change now, too. I've been seeing on the social media. I'd be like, man, when I was growing up, white
folks did not have.
Now, white motherfuckers got more bounce than niggas.
Bro, I was seeing, most of white teams do these dudes like, and you would think they didn't have the bounce, bro. Dudes going up two hands, putting niggas in the rim. I'm like, what's going on out here?
I used to be a nigga because I'm like, I respect enough because I was like, when I was high school, I used to be a nigga. I couldn't dunk in warm ups because I wasn't warmed up enough. I could only dunk in games or like practices and shit like that. So I'm like, when I be seeing these niggas, I be like, what? But at the same time, you gotta understand, shit is advanced. Like we was getting taught remember the bread system, remember the pyramid for the foods. All that shit's been debunked now, nigga. Milk and bread should not be the most important things you eating. Like I remember, bro,
way worse back. Niggas used to drink soda all the time, nigga.
Bruh, man, remember when we used to go to games and the shit we would eat before? Like, why were we even eating before games, bro? Why was that something we shouldn't have been eating before games? But it was we got to eat before. We got to eat before, and when I think about it, a lot of this shit, I'd be like, man, a lot of shit wasn't our fault. It's just you think about shit is advanced. You feel me? So I'm like,
I mean, and I wasn't trying to say the kids was weak or nothing like that, but I'm saying as far as I just meant like as far as IQ and toughness, like they couldn't just beat us in our era because we had to play defense, and it was like
they'll dunk on us though, nigga.
That's the one play though, but can they do it all game?
Dunk on us like a motherfucker, nigga.
Flu, I'm telling you now, you talking about dunking, that's cool. You might get on Instagram, that's fine, but he's not gonna cook you though.
No, I agree with you because our era was different. I'm like, my era, like I remember I was a nigga, like you know what I'm saying? If shit got heated, I wanted to go up. Like I couldn't do that now. Like that's why it's like I probably wouldn't even be able to play now because I would probably get kicked out all the time. So
like think about like a guy like Kawan, bro. Like no guard this weekend would have been able to score on Kawan. I'm telling you now.
Think about it was me. I remember I was like, nigga, the deadly lockup for our backcourt was me and Kawan.
Bro, I already know.
People have fucked up, and y'all don't know. Like, bro, I'm 6'4", barely. Like if I put on the right amount of shoes, I could maybe say I'm 6'4.5". They had me jumping ball. I wasn't the biggest thing on my team. Why was I jumping for the ball? I think about that to this day. I'm like, why y'all have me jump? You know what I'm saying? That didn't make no sense to me.
You had the most bounce on the team besides probably Sam, no.
But it's fucked up though, because it's like I didn't have 2 foot bounce. I had 1 foot bounce, and it's like for the jump ball, I had to jump off at 2. So
but you could dunk off 2 feet.
I could, but I didn't have not compared to
it wasn't like your 1 foot. You was putting niggas in the rim. You was putting niggas in the rim.
My 2, I was very uncomfortable. But see, that's the thing. Sometimes I be feeling like that's the advancement in everything nowadays, where it's like say if I had a kid and I see him, I'm like, oh, you have amazing 1 foot bounce. for you to get 2-foot bounce, it's not about you doing any of these weird conditioning drills that the coaches are doing. It's like, I need to get you in yoga. I need to, get your flexibility right. And then I need to start doing certain, quick, active muscle movements that can get you engaged and comfortable and jumping off of your 2 feet. But it's like, if you don't have someone, that's why I'm like, everything is so particular. Like, everything is so specific. It's like, especially when you're a kid, like, you don't have no one to tell you, unless you're just a freak. And those are usually the ones that, make it. There's freaks where it's like, you can tell them, hey, do this and that, but they're so, naturally gifted. It's like,
I say this as far, and I can speak because, I've been a point guard. I say the point guard position is very loose these days. Like when I was growing up, they used to be like
strict,
on us, like, nigga, run the play, get into the big. You have to be safety. You gotta pick up full. Like no guards was picking up full for real. Like unless they was down.
People don't talk about that either. No, well, people is interesting. I love that you said that. People do not talk because people always want to talk about positionless basketball. You have bigs, being able to shoot, blah 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 blah. But no one talks about how different the point guard position has changed to now. A lot of people would try to make it seem like it's the same position. But if you want me to be real, and this is a statement that I'm going to stand by, point guards don't exist anymore.
And it's sad is because the ones that actually still do have point guards in the league are the ones that win.
But they're not credited as point guards who are winning because they're point guards. You feel me? And that's why I've read for Chris Paul so long. That's why I love Rajon Rondo, because I've seen this shit. I was like, Rondo and Chris Paul are the last real true point guards. Steph Curry is a beast, but he is not a point guard. He is a shooting guard. He is not A1. He is A2. Simple as that.
Like what AI was, but they just let him dribble the ball up all the time.
But isn't it interesting how much they would try and AI is not a 1, he's a 2, da 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 da. But they're like, hey, yo, Steph is a point guard. He's only 6'3", 6'4". Nigga, Allen Iverson was barely 6 feet.
No, he was like 5'10".
Nigga, how crazy that is.
I don't know. It's just because
how crazy it is, bro.
But it's because how he was scoring was, think about it, at that time, bro, scores used to be like 70, 74, 80, 89. Like, it used to be very, very lower. And nigga would have 30, 35, 40, 50. He'd have damn near majority of the points. Like Steph not doing that necessarily these days. I'm not saying he's not scoring, but the scores are so high. His 30 is in the bunch of the 120 they scored.
What's fucked up is, what I'm saying, when it comes to AI, they want to make him as a shooting guard. But it was like, yeah, he could shoot good, but nigga, he never shot as much as Steph.
No,
he was going to the bucket, finishing at the rim. Like Steph don't ever finish like that. Against guys like Shaq, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, you feel me, Kevin Garnett. And some of y'all are gonna laugh at me, whatever. But they were good defensive guys. Well, Ben Wallace, yeah, exceptionally. But Michael Olowokandi, I know y'all gonna say whatever y'all want. Exauskis, like big boys in there going crazy. Pollard off of Sacramento Kings, Chris Webber, like going crazy off these dudes. Dwight Howard, like it's very interesting, the narrative. But remember, I don't know. Well, I don't know if you do remember. Oh, by the way, I didn't salute. My bad. Salute lost one. I've been showing you comments. And I didn't even salute you, bro. But salute you, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, my car was stolen. I'll get into that. But salute you. Appreciate you being here, bro. But what they don't talk about when it comes to the era of like the AI, etc. But they do talk about when it comes to Steph Curry, or they try to make a difference between, or differentiate between the two, is that when it comes to Steph Curry, they make it seem as if, how can I put this in a way? They make it seem as if the rules don't come into effect. And I don't think the rules really play a factor that much, but they make it seem as that doesn't come into effect. And they also make it seem like the way that he plays. Well, honestly, I'm gonna take a little bit back what I'm saying, because it's hard to even say anything about that because they don't compare Steph and Iverson. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them do. Some people will ask you, like,
it's rare though.
They'll say this. I asked a lot of people. They said they're gonna take Steph over AI, and the fact that everybody is doing that because they're saying he can shoot. But I'm like, bro.
Because they won't but that's my particular reason. They won't compare him to Iverson because of that. They'll say automatically Steph is better because
he can shoot.
Supposedly he can shoot better. So they won't even put that into the
But didn't
same
even think
or
about
what it
Iverson
seems.
for how little he was. He wasn't just a straight big liability. Like I never saw Iverson really just getting posted up like that. Kobe might do it, but like you know what I'm saying? Like not too many people was just abusing Iverson like they try to go at Steph.
Can we be real though? Do you think maybe there's a possibility a lot of these narratives for a lot of smaller guys where they would get abused on defense is a little bit false?
Bro, I'm like,
I
hey,
never
look,
saw Earl
Iverson
Brokens get abused on
abused.
defense.
I never saw even that nigga Muggsy Bogues get abused on defense. Them niggas was strong.
So I'm like, I don't, and Nate Robinson, like I never seen these guys got abused on defense. Isaiah Thomas, he was never a problem on defense. He didn't become a problem on defense until the hip. So it's like a lot of people want to try and make that seem like something. It's like y'all niggas wasn't around long enough to see like what he did for Boston. I'm like, y'all impressed about what you see from Boston right now, but you're literally talking about a 6'8" dude and Jason Tatum, 6'7" dude, and Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, 6'4", the best defensive. What you're seeing from them right now, Isaiah Thomas was doing by himself.
Facts.
At 5'10", but he's a liability on defense.
Less
so
talent.
Media ain't shit. And I try to bring that same thing into boxing. I'm like, none of that media shit. I'm like, none of that means anything to me. I'm like, all that shit is narratives. All that shit is so everybody can be a fan of a fan of a fan and, you know, talk shit about this.
But it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. Like, and I know people always say Kawhi overrated and it was the systems and whatever he was playing in. But I'm like, why nobody ever say that with Steph? Like, he wasn't in one of the best systems in basketball for him designed.
Well, and I remember now. Do you remember when I said the reason why I believe Steph or the reason why I believe Golden State is going to win this year? Or it probably wasn't in these terms. I'm trying to make myself sound better than what I am. But anyways, I'm still saying the reason why Golden State would win this year is because they want Steph to be. They don't want LeBron to be the guy. They don't want LeBron to be the next MJ. They want Steph to be the next MJ. I firmly believe that the NBA's goal is to make, because LeBron has way too much power in the sense of LeBron is too outspoken. Steph is not going to do things outside of the NBA's organization. You already see LeBron trying to be his own entity, et cetera, et cetera. So I do believe the NBA's goal is to make Steph as the next Michael Jordan, Kobe, whatever the case may be, of the NBA, and that's why I wasn't surprised that he won this year.
And
that's my personal
Finals
opinion.
MVP.
Well, I think that he should have been had a Finals MVP. Let's be real. Them giving Kevin Durant though, like if you really think about it, if I wasn't so young back then and naive, if I
You
really
gotta
had,
give him to KD though, bro. He was averaging 36 points,
if I understood
8 rebounds,
life,
and seven rebounds.
I don't care about any of that. If I understood life back then and I looked at shit the way I seen it now and I understood, I would understood how everything was set up for Steph, because Steph was going to stay with Golden State. They knew that was the case, so they had to make something look as if, okay, Steph had a struggle, a path. It was hard. Oh, we had to go. You know what I'm saying? So what was that? Well, KD came over. He added on to the team. They won. And realistically, if Steph wasn't on that team, they wouldn't have won. So Steph definitely should have got the MVP.
But
Regardless of how he performed, KD wasn't even a real part of the team.
But who's to say that they will win without KD though? Because LeBron wasn't going to lose to them.
You're absolutely right. But at the end of the day, there's a very good argument that you could put up to say that they could have won. You feel me?
They could have won, but would they have won? I doubt that, because LeBron and them was on
exactly.
A high.
But I know that's my point. I agree with that. But there's no argument if there's no Steph and KD comes over to Golden State if they would have done X, Y, Z. So that's my point. So even with KD doing what he did and coming over late, I don't think KD was warranted those MVP finals. I think that allows for the drama. That allows for us later in the years where they orchestrated and planned for, you know, Steph and Golden State to win, where we can talk about the situation with KD, because realistically, KD should have probably won one of those finals MVP, but Steph definitely should have won the other one. KD should not have won both. KD had great stats in both finals MVP, but it was very obvious the reason why in one of those particular, when KD came over the first year, KD should have got that finals MVP. The second year when they won, that should have went to Steph. Simple as that. But I remember there was an argument.
Giving it to KD wasn't bad though. It's not. I mean, he averaged crazy stats still.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with it at that at all. I'm just saying, in my head when I'm looking at it, I'm like, it seems like it's just orchestrated. Where it's like, now we're in a position now where, you know, basically Steph is looked at as being goated, and we're wondering what's going on with KD. You feel me? Isn't that an interesting turn of events?
But in that saying that though, are we not? Because that's crazy. Every superstar at one point got the overhype narrative, right? I feel like Steph's never gotten that narrative that he was overhyped. And I feel like everybody,
he got his.
huh?
He got
When?
his. He got his.
When? What year?
If you want me to be real, I know this is some bullshit, but it would be in the beginning when he first came to the league. He was one of the guys when he came to the league. No one thought he would be anything. He had all the ankle injuries, all that shit. So that was his time.
That's not overhyped to me because I'm like they wasn't even really doing. I'm talking about Bron when he was doing what he was doing in Cleveland. They were saying he was overhyped. He can't win. He can't do this. He can't do this. Kobe when Shaq left, he's weak. He can't get to the playoffs. He can't win. He can't do this. I'm saying with Steph, he's never had that narrative. Like when KD left, they wasn't saying he can't win without KD.
But see, it's crazy. I can argue that people were saying that, and one of the big narratives and why he was crying and he got the Finals MVP finally, they're gonna say is, "Oh, you just won those last two MVPs. I mean, those last two championships because of KD. Steph finally got his Finals MVP." So that's what they will argue. That will be the narrative.
But I don't feel like too many people are with that narrative though, because everybody I talk to, they always say, well, without Steph, KD don't got no rings, but Steph got one without him. So I'm like, that narrative isn't too strong if that's the one you're trying to push, because it's just like he didn't think about it. Steph was on the best teams before KD. He had the best team in history record-wise, right or wrong. And that was without KD. When KD got there, they didn't even get no 70-0 wins. And they should have with a nigga like that on the team. So it's
when you're
like
that good, you chill. You feel me?
Huh?
You don't have to make it. When you're that good, you don't have to. Yeah.
You. But I'm saying, I feel like Steph isn't given. I feel like he's given so much credit, but also at the same time not acknowledging that he's had some of the best teams ever in history. Can arguably say he had the best team in history 2 years, 3 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like. So I'm like you feel me? Like with Kobe, when he won in 2008 and 2010, he didn't have that wasn't just the best team. You know what I mean? Niggas would tell you it was Boston, or you feel me? It could have said it was the Spurs or something.
So like, you're trying to discredit.
I'm not trying to discredit Steph. I'm just saying nobody's putting too much, nobody's looking into that factor that his teams have always been great. You feel me? Even when he had Monte in them, if he was healthy, they could have made it to the playoffs. He just wasn't healthy. It was just Monte out there doing everything. And then when they got Clay, that they got rid of Monte. And then that's when Mark Jackson ended up starting to implement that system that Kerr ended up, adding on to his own expertise. But it's like Steph just wasn't there.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I remember that. But I'm just saying, I'm like, if someone were to argue as a Steph fan, which I was, someone argue that like his beef and shit didn't come later in his career. It came in the beginning. So when Mark Jackson decided, like that's why a lot of people ride for Mark so much, because people don't understand how big of a decision it was to say, Monte, we're done. We're gonna believe in Steph. And those first 2 to 3 years, Steph had ankle injuries and he didn't do shit, and people were talking a lot of shit and said it wasn't gonna work out. So it's like a lot of people won't remember that. Like that's where people will come and say, "Oh, we old." You got people who say we're young. You got people who say, "Oh," but that's like I remember that. Like I'm like that's why to this day it's like Mark got done wrong, because it's not that he just built who the Golden State Warriors was, but he gave Steph the confidence to believe that you that nigga, because he said, as great as Monte Ellis is, because I remember how great that nigga was. He was absolutely great. I'm gonna say I'm done with you, and Steph, I believe in you. And in that time, Steph dealt with a lot of shit. It looked like Brandon Jennings was going to be the better pick than him. It looked like Johnny Flynn was the better, point guard than him. Ricky Rubio was better, and he chilled out and he believed in him. And now Steph is here, but people won't believe, won't remember that type of shit. That was the case with Steph. Like Steph's first 3 to 4 years in the league, he looked like a bum, a fucking bum with injury problems in his ankles. Like those signature.
He was a bum. I was watching his games. He didn't look like a bum to me. He was still nice.
I'm not
saying
you that knows basketball, but majority of the people who was watching it, they was like, "Yo, you're not better than Brandon Jennings. You're not better than Johnny Flynn. Like, who is you, bruh? Like, you look real weak out there."
I don't give a damn what nobody say. Johnny was not.
Johnny Flynn was supposed to be nice. Let's not act crazy.
He was supposed to be nice.
Ricky Rubio was nice. He's still in the league making millions, but Ricky Rubio was supposed to be a lot nicer than what he was.
You see?
I don't want to hear nothing about us resigning him, because that means we're throwing shade at Colin Sexton. So most likely we're not going to bring back Colin
Did you see
Sexton.
what they offered that nigga?
Fuck out of here.
Did you see what they...
and
Why? That
Sexton
was so
declined it.
disrespectful. Oh my God, that was so disrespectful. I said Garland 190.
The reason why they did that because we got Garland and we got Rubio. So I'm like, right now, I'm still a Cleveland fan, but like what we did to Sexton was disrespectful. We're gonna regret that. I know Garland's a beast, but why would you? Why do you have so much faith in the guy in Rubio? Who, yes, he's very solid, but he's injury prone. He's nigga. He has 3 years left. Why would you do that? We can literally have a fucking backcourt young crazy duo in Garland and Sexton, and you just said, hey, we're going to disrespect you on what we offer you because we have Rubio coming back. Man, stupid. Stupid as fuck. Pisses me off. But remember, I told you it was going to, I knew, I had a reason. I was like, Garland's balling out. They're going to disrespect Sexton. They're going to think we don't need him. Garland, I love you. You're a dog. You're going to be great. You're not Sexton, bro.
I thought Sexton was better for sure, but that injury that shows you an injury. It's like what I see that.
It's fucked up.
Okay.
It's fucked up. But I want last one. Appreciate you coming up here when you did. Last one said the food pyramid is bullshit. Now you should know that, nigga. You around our age, nigga. You should know that, nigga. But I love this comment right there. What if the new bullshit is bullshit too? It is. It's all bullshit. It's all propaganda. It's all to make us feel a certain way. Everything is motivated by money. You feel me? So, did you end up rating your day, nigga?
I said 4.3.
Oh, okay. Salute to that then. That's not a bad day. That's a good day. You ate yet today or what?
I had like some little tacos. I'm gonna make some lasagna. So
okay. So you still got a little, you gotta eat at the end of the day, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah. You ate? Nah, you fasted.
Nah, no. Actually, can I talk my shit today now?
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
man.
talk my shit. All right, I'm gonna talk my shit.
So
what's up with it?
Going to the rest of the pod for real.
I'm gonna talk no, it's not gonna be crazy. I'm gonna talk my shit real quick, then we'll get into our other topics. But let me talk my shit. So I know y'all was looking for some shit Sunday. You feel me? I told y'all I was gonna drop some shit for the Rockman Jr. for the Jake Paul. I'm still gonna do that. I didn't do it Sunday because I had some crazy shit happen. My motherfucking, what you see on last one right here, he's going off the, the topic of the thing. My car was stolen. My whole joint got robbed, got took, anything crazy. So you probably like most people, you tell them some shit like that. You be like, man, what type of shit was you into for a nigga just to, plot on you and take your shit? It wasn't planned. Y'all can look it up. I could have had this set up where I could just pull up the reports. But shit, I'm gonna pull it up. But the type of model I had the Hyundai Sonata. You feel me? So apparently there's been a recall or a TikTok type joint that's happened in the last month. You feel me? That's just been that's went viral, showing how you can just break into that type of model. You feel me? Whether it's the type I had, and hopefully I'm not supporting this, but so I won't say the specifics, but type I had, the Hyundais or the Kias, we can do a certain type of joint. And you could break a certain, part of that joint, no alarm, nothing like that. You feel me? Wait. Hold on a second. All right, y'all. But yeah, you can basically you can break that joint in the back without, having any type of alarm go off. And after you break it in the back, you're able to start it. You just got to take off the dash, well, not the dashboard, but you got to take off a certain part where you don't got to use the ignition. It's just some bullshit. You can start it without the key, right? So that happened to me. I didn't know about it. I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I went outside. I saw my whole joint was going. I didn't know about it until the police told me when I filed the police report, and they told me it was something that's been happening for the last month. Before it happened, I was feeling, crazy. I was like, man, motherfucker set me up, all type of crazy shit. But that wasn't the case, man. It's just some shit that's happening. So that happened. I was, so that's why y'all didn't see nothing from Sunday. I was trying to handle it. I got to call my insurance, make sure everything was right, blah, blah, blah. Cars, whatever I had left in that joint. But anyways, fast forward to Monday, we here, and they found it. They found the motherfucking joint. They found my whip. They didn't even call me too. I didn't like how they informed me. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I didn't like how they informed me.
No, for real, bro. They informed me. I'm sitting here, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching TV, nigga, cause I just a nigga just somebody just bang on my door like crazy, reckless, like bow, bow, bow. I'm like, what the fuck? I open up, it's the police officer, it's a chick, it's a police officer chick. She was banging with her light, and I'm like, damn, like you finna arrest me? Nah, we found your car. I was like, why'd you bang on my door like that? She was like, oh, I just want to make sure you heard it. I was, "Oh, all right. You want to go get your car? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. Let me get dressed real quick.
I'd have been mad, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, you banging on my window like that. I did not appreciate it. I'm sorry.
I didn't understand that, bro. She banged on that shit like she was finna arrest me. Like, nigga, I jumped off the couch. Nigga, I go to the thing. I'm like, nigga, like, what's going on? Like, oh, we found your car. Like, you didn't have to bang on it like that. Like, I'm right here. Like, and I had my door like cracked open. Like, I had my like the security when the door, whatever, was locked. But I had the actual door like open. So it wasn't like it seemed like I wasn't up or nothing like that. So it was like that was, I don't know, maybe she was having a bad day. Anyways,
must have been.
Hopped in there, went to go get my whip. Ended up finding out it was definitely some type of trend on social media because I seen the motherfuckers who stole it. I was like, is that who did it? By the way, so y'all know, I was around like 6 cops. I was zooted than a motherfucker because I took the day off for it. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to relax on my Fluence shit. So I'm zooted. I'm over here. I'm like, I was like,
hey, you got me rolling. He said, that's how you know you gotta.
That's how I was, bro. I was like, but like I made a point because I'm like, I already know they already know I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I'm up. So I'm like, nigga, let me keep my eyes mad squinted because you know what I'm saying. So they, you know what I'm saying, so maybe it helped me. You feel me? So like I'm checking my car. My car is fucked up. So I'll get into the damage on my car in a minute. But and I look in the backseat of the whip of the police car. I was like, is that who did it? And they was like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how old is that kid? He looks like he's 12. He's like, he's 14. I was like, what?
Damn.
And everything was in there. Like, they didn't steal anything. Like, I remember I told you my extra set of house keys was in there, my extra credit card, nothing. So I was like, that's how I knew. I was like, man, it was literally some little ass kids, bro, off of TikTok.
You got your locks changed for nothing.
No, I didn't do it. Well, I didn't do it. It wasn't I didn't want to do it. By the way, I was disappointed. You didn't call me this morning and you didn't come by, so I didn't have to do it. He didn't come by last night. He didn't come by this morning, nothing. So I didn't have to pay for no locks change, nothing like that. So I ended up making it in the clear when it came to that particular situation. But
you do a lot, mama. That's why I was telling you, hit him now, and you told me I'm gonna hit him with him. All right.
It was
little,
but yeah, it was. I didn't have to pay for that because he ended up showing up. So,
well, that's
good.
Some
little ass kids who did it. So I no money out of my like the one thing that did come good out of this was I ended up paying. I haven't paid anything as of now. I have some decisions I have to make, but yeah, it was some little ass kids. It was 2 little ass kids. I seen him. I was like, because I seen him and the other one. I was like, that was the other one. And it was like, yeah. And I was like, man, some young guy. Like, for a minute, I thought maybe I got set up, or maybe it was some niggas from the corner store. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, man.
Well, if it's a TikTok trend, usually like it's like we could have assumed
young kids, bro.
Yeah, 14. Like, they barely freshmen,
bro. I'm like, man. So that happened, y'all. I got the whip back. It's outside. Luckily I got insurance, so I got to figure out what I got to do. As of right now, I got a couple options. My one option, as of right now, I got somebody coming to assess the damage, tell me how much the damage is, and they can cut me a check for the damage. But the problem with that is I'm gonna have to see what I can get for if I trade it in or if I sell it. So with the damage it is, like, it got to make sense. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or I can wait and I can get it fixed and then I can sell it, which I would get a lot more money from. But the problem is right now, because this is a trend, nigga, the nearest I can get my shit into it and it fixed is in September.
What?
Nigga, in September. So
why so long? It's July.
It's because it's a trend. Like, everyone, like, if you have a Hyundai or if you have a a Kia after 2018, and you got your shit got like, so it's like basically they're backed up because of that, and they're backed up because the parts, just strictly because of inflation and all that shit. So it's a fucked up time. The only thing that's working good right now is that cars are in demand when it comes to reselling. What I'm saying, I paid my car off to a point where I'm at a point where I'll make a profit regardless. But even with that being the case, like I got to make sure I pick the right choice so I don't play myself. So my shit is still drivable, even though the only way I can drive it is using the same way these TikTok niggas did. So there's a possibility someone can come steal it again. So I got a lot of decisions I got to make. But
what you mean you can't drive it with your key?
no, I can't. They that shit is done.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, my only choice is I gotta wait. Like I have someone coming in. They're supposed to come tomorrow, Wednesday, to assess the damage. That's with my insurance, and then they'll tell me what that is, and I'm gonna take it into a couple of dealerships, see what they'll offer me, just straight cash. And if it makes sense, then what I'm saying, I'll make the move. If I don't get what I want, then I'll wait it out. I'll get it fixed up, and then I'll sell it. You know what I'm saying? Because I bought the motherfucker, so I have that choice, and I have it paid down to a certain point. So
that's fucked up still though. Like, what did they do? Like, it's like toe up, like they scratched up and all that.
Yeah, some dents. Window was broken, and then the whole thing with the ignition and stuff, that shit's done. They got to replace that. So, I'm not tripping. If I would be mad if I didn't have insurance. If I didn't have insurance, I'd be mad. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be, what I'm saying, they're gonna make sure I'm right. They're gonna make sure I'm taken care of because of my insurance. You feel me? So, I'm not tripping either way. But I just, at this point, it's just a waiting game. You feel me? And I just gotta see what happens. So that's just the case. But that's the story on that. Got the car stolen, but it's back. We back in business. Like I'm going to work. I got work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm going tomorrow. I'm gonna get it right. You feel me? I'm back on. You know what I'm saying? The gritty, the grind. So, yeah, it was a crazy turn of events. I never would have thought I got a motherfucking a whip that would end up being in a TikTok trend. But what I would say this, and this is probably some very late news, especially coming from an old nigga like me, but it does show that it's very it does pay off to buy your shit. Cause I'm like, nigga, if I would have leased my shit or something like that, I wouldn't be in this position. But because I bought my shit, I paid my shit off, I was on time. Regardless of what I choose, I can be in a profit. So it's like it does pay off. Niggas want to make it
And
seem
your
like
credit
it definitely is
is
a
too.
risk in the beginning and all that type of stuff. But so it's like that's just making me more so also to be motivated. It's like, man, I need to go ahead. I need to get up out of this little spot I'm at renting, and I just need to buy my crib. You feel me? Like stop playing around. So like,
But you're not playing around though, because I'm like, you seen what's going on. So it's like bro, and we should transfer right now out of that. Did you rate your day?
Oh, what was the day?
Monday.
Day. My day was definitely probably like a 4.1. 4.1. I haven't ate yet, so probably when I ate, probably like a 4.3.
But I want to transfer what you said. You're talking about not playing around. Like,
I don't even know what
my
that
biggest
means, you Jazz.
I don't know either. I guess he's trying to ask how much you bought it for. But
I hope so, nigga.
Energy. The last couple days, that's been the biggest thing that I've been trying to focus on. And also within the energy, just finding God. And not trying to be like religious or nothing, but just like, really, because I was this one dude, he was speaking to me. He was like, he said, you're innocent. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, you should, like, I don't know, like I'm just good at seeing energy, and you just have like a pure energy about you, like you have a good uplifted spirit. But I wasn't even saying really nothing. I guess he just just was asking, just saying it. But I'm like, he didn't say that for no reason. I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff that happens or is said to you isn't just by mistake, like it's supposed to, be spoke to you. So when I was saying with energy, like energy is like very powerful. And with me saying that, I was just, I started like just looking at YouTube videos, because I was just like, that's interesting how, he felt like he wanted to tell me that, and about energy. So I start, And of course, I have to do more deep dive research. This was kind of like, just an hour or two. Like, I really want to. But he was, a lot of this one dude was saying like a lot of times we can't notice energy because we don't look for it. But if you look for it and you look at the signs, it's like certain things that just happen, and it's all because of the energy that you have. You know what I'm saying? He was saying like, hold on, I'm trying to hold the mic so you can hear me as I do it. So he was saying like when you have your hands like this, he's like push it together. He's like, but like very slowly. And he was like, when you do it, you can kind of feel a certain type of like energy or something in between. And like he was just saying, if you do it real slow, like you could feel something there. He was like, that's energy that your body, produces type thing. And he was just saying like, always try to be around positive energy or have some type of positive energy around you. And it was like, but I guess it's a thing called like energy manipulation. So you can use it for good or bad. I know it's probably sounding all crazy right now, but that's something like, has, so you was talking about,
No, I agree with all that. I think you have absolute control in your energy. You have absolute control in the people around you whom you allow to be in your life to present certain energy to you. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna address it real quick. Hugh Jazz, I know you're a troll, but I appreciate you being up in here. Make sure if you're a troll, make sure you like, subscribe. Opinion on the Jim Crow laws, nigga. There ain't no reason to have an opinion on the Jim Crow laws, my nigga. We're in 2022. Hey boy, shut it. See, that's how I know you was a troll because you were listening. Hugh Jazz, I appreciate you commenting. I appreciate you voicing your opinion. It was bullshit. Anyways, I absolutely I understand where you're coming from with a lot of things when it comes to your energy because the ability. I don't want to sound like that guy, and I'm not going to be that long-winded when it comes to it. We'll move on to the next topic, but I agree with what you're saying when it comes to being able to control certain type of things that come into your lifestyle. And if things do come into your lifestyle, if you're engaging in certain things, or at the least day you're entertaining certain things, energy is real. So for you to think you can control it, you can control yours, but you can't control someone else's.
yeah.
So be careful of who you allow into your space, because if the energy doesn't match up with yours, you're gonna either have to figure out how to maneuver around it or have to maneuver without it. So
Yeah, like I didn't want to get too deep into it because you get to talking in certain ways like this, and people gonna be like, "Man, you talking crazy." But this is there's a lot too, because I think about some of these, like think about Stranger Things, right? It could be exacerbated, but who's to say something like that can't be possible? Like I said, exacerbated, but who's to say somebody doesn't have a good energy and they can't move something or something like that? Like.
I've seen
Like,
some crazy things in my lifetime when I was young, and sometimes even when I was young, I wish I was older when I experienced them. Like, and when I say crazy things, like I'm gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying? I'm Fluence, you know what I'm saying? We 150, you know what I'm saying? Do what it is. Shit, nigga, I just got my shit robbed, so I don't give a fuck. But um, like I was in some churches, I was in some atmospheres where I've seen people absolutely submit to energy. You feel me? Whether the energy was pure, whether the energy was beneficial, whether the energy was able to be substantial, whether the energy was something that could, carry them and be something greater and later on in life. In that moment, they felt the energy, and they submitted to it. And what I'm talking about church. You know what I'm saying? I've been in church my whole entire life, and I've seen instances where I've seen people, grown, grown, grown people submit to energy in that time, during that period of time. And even though they submitted to that period of time, and during that, and they submitted to that energy, it changed nothing about the rest of their life. You feel me? Like in their mind, they thought, if I submit to this energy, you know what I'm saying, and I feel whatever's going to be felt. So that's why, this might be weird. I don't know where I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying? I might be too fluent. Let me know. Reel me in. And I'm like, would you think, like, say, okay, I'm at a church, we're doing lines, and they touching heads. And, you know what I'm saying? They getting laid out. You feel me? Some people might not understand what I'm talking about. But they getting laid out, just off the touch of their heads, and it's off that energy, right? Because, the feeling of it is, you know what I'm saying? I feel so, mourning, or no, excuse me. I feel so sorrowful for the things I've done. I'm apologetic for everything that I've done wrong in life. I need someone to tell me that everything is okay. In this particular instance, they're telling me everything is okay. And I'm so into this feeling. I'm so into this particular moment that I can be laid out and I can be just incapacitated where I'm not saying anything, right? But those same people will say something about someone who's gonna smoke a joint, you feel me? Do some mushrooms, do a sniff, where they want the same thing, where it's like I got so much going on in my mind in this particular time frame. I want to be able to either enjoy it, I want to be able to forget it. You know what I'm saying? Because even in that instant, I know it sounds crazy. It's like you comparing, drugs to something that's religious, a religious movement, but it's like I've seen in these religious movements where people have been touched and they've been like, oh man, like this is the crazy shit that's going on. Where it's like sometimes I'd be looking at it, I'd be thinking, I'd be like, what is the reason for this? Because what are you getting out of it? Like after this happens, does everything change in your life? Or did you have this momentary, feeling or momentary, you know, opportunity or momentary situation where this made you feel like everything you did in your life was okay, it was forgiven, and now I can kind of keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a drug.
Well, that's why I feel like what's been confused, bro, and I think it's just with humans, it's two things, right? One thing is for sure that I've noticed, bro. People just don't like themselves and they don't know who they are. So with people knowing that, it's easy to kind of control and manipulate that because everybody wants to feel important. Like you were saying, everybody want to feel like in this moment I matter, or in this moment, like you said, they can get a release from whatever they're dealing with. And then two, it's like, damn, I forgot my second point.
We're just in
What was you
regards
saying?
like what people saying that we was just saying like one in the point where it's like everybody feels like they're
Oh.
getting. Go ahead.
Yeah, like so too, like people get, I think, in my opinion, religious and spiritual confused, right? Like today, I was having a conversation with the homie, and I was telling him, like, I was, speaking on the energy, and I was kind of telling you about how the guy, I went a little bit more detail what he was saying, and then he got the, because I kept saying, like, not every church is bad, right? Not every church you walk into doesn't have good energy or doesn't have pure intentions, right? But you can go into other churches and you can kind of just feel like this is a big money grab. Like this isn't an environment, in my opinion, that is conducive of trying to, reach the Lord. It's more of a place that they know a lot of people come to just get away from what you were saying, those problems. So like you said, it's funny how you can look down on somebody that does drugs and maybe not go to church, but then you go to church just to go get your drug.
And that is the I'm very happy you explained it that way, because it's like sometimes I feel like when I talk, it's like it's just lost in translation, and that was such a beautiful way to put it. It's like that's what I be talking about. Whereas just because your addiction is something that is more known to be fatal doesn't mean someone else who has an addiction can tell you what is right or wrong. Like, okay, all right, that sounds muddled, but it's like addictions come in such different aspects of life, right? I can be addicted to a meth needle while another person is addicted to TV. The
Another
person
person's
addicted to
addicted.
TV seems like they're going to last a lot longer in life, and we need to talk to the person who's addicted to the meth needle. But why are we not talking about the person who's addicted to TV? I don't want to do anything but watch TV.
Or
But I got
addicted
this
to
cousin who just wants to do meth all the time. We gotta make sure the meth person is off that meth. We're not gonna say anything about TV. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we're getting into an aspect of life where, excuse me, there's so many different addictions that people are trying to tell you what is good, what is right, what is wrong, and it's all basis off, in my opinion. I won't say it's based off because that's wrong, but a lot of that heavily relies in religion as well. But also within that, we can even put it into sports. We can put it into what we do. Black Goose TV is like, when we talk about sports, it's like, okay, if this particular people are talking about this particular aspect of a topic, then I know I could take it seriously and it's a real deal. But if it's not being talked about and it's very minimal, then most likely this is what the case is, and the fighter's capping. It's a weird double entendre that we live in the world today, where it's like I feel like people are smart enough to know, but they choose not to because they understand what benefits, their endorphins, what makes them really tick, what makes them be like, I really, enjoy the day and life I'm right now. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's the hardest thing, and this is why I'm like, I'm not trying to be over the top spiritual right now, but like I said, when you say things is, for me, most times too, I speak out of my spirit. Like, I done said stuff around certain people where I made them so mad or I made them feel a certain way, but that was maybe the spirit touching them, and they didn't want to hear it. Because one of the hardest things to do in this world is discipline and sacrifice and actually trying to do something that matters. And what matters is, you feel me, like, you gotta find God. Like, like, babe, it sounds crazy, right? You don't gotta be in a certain religion to understand that what we're doing in this lifetime isn't by mistake. How everything is designed in the universe is not by mistake. If we can go see millions of stars and suns at night, all those are there for a reason. It ain't there for it because we want to look up and it's pretty at night. It's not there for that. It's there because there's other probably entities somewhere out there in the world that's living off that sun. And we can't even fathom how it's possible, right? We only can live on a certain type of degrees. We think 100 is a hot. In another galaxy, they probably think 1,000 degrees is hot. You know what I mean? So it's like a different type of land, landfill. But I'm saying, as far as just trying to find that, it's like, how easy is it to start getting addicted to something, right? But how hard is it to be addicted to something that is actually beneficial for something positive?
It's fucked up too, and I don't even want to get into heavy in this. I'm just kind of move along from this. But if you really think about shit, if you really think about aspects of life, lifespan, time periods you're here, people before you, people after you, do you think the people before you was thinking about us? I think about it. There's an entire history. There's an entire books. There's things written on things that have happened to get to the point where we're at. So for us to be, so if you want to think about it, we want to talk about people who are egomaniac and people who are so boastful and people who are just worried about themselves. We're all that way because in reality, if we weren't, our entire existence in life was to learn about the people previous before us. Do you understand that we're not the first people on this earth? There's people who created things, who done things to make sure that we had this comfortability where we can do the things that we can. So that the fact that we don't speak on that, the fact that we make it seem like, this is the first we've seen of this, and this is the first we've seen of that, this is the first we acknowledge of this, I think is ludicrous. So it's like, hey, let's be 100. It's like there's such a weird aspect. It's like, okay, yeah, we can acknowledge the ability of everything that we are doing as people and moving forward and progressing, but we're only here because of the previous people that have put in the work. And there's people before that, before. So it's like, for me, when I think of things, it's like, I think of things as if it's like our lifetime, our lifespan is so short. Because in reality, we're talking about a world that's existed for over, 100 billion years. We barely do 80 years of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you think of that aspect, it's like all of us are arrogant to think that any of our ideas or any of our ideals or anything that we believe that should make sense and change the world should matter. It's like, really, it doesn't, because we're such a short period of time on the actual existence of the world that we live in. Honestly, our time period of us being here should be appreciation. It should be just, blissfulness. It should be just love.
Discovery, really.
Yeah, and discovery, chivalry, all that. But the fact that it's become competition, I'm better than you, hate, greed,
gluttony,
egotistical, it's like, it shows you that as much as like I love my pops and as much as maybe I want to fight against what his ideologies were, but it's like, maybe we are going towards the end time, because it's like, rather than us be focused on the positivities of the short span of life that we have people making it seem like the short span of life that we do have is eternity, and we're fighting to show that in this little time we have that we're better than the other. So we're destroying something that should be built upon. So I don't know. I'm pretty fluent right now, so maybe I'm just going crazy and I'm just going
I
far off
mean,
the crazy
to even
spectrum.
add to that point, who's to say that maybe some people that were, like you said, here before aren't here again?
Where that's what I think about too. Like I think to myself is
Because think about it. Before you make that point, think about it. Like me and you probably both heard this. Dang, you an old soul. Like you so young. You know what I'm saying? Like we not old, but there's certain things that we do that one of an old man might do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's to say that maybe we were here at one point? We just have no recollection. Because you gotta remember, when you die, your energy's transferred. It doesn't mean that body that you were in and our brains are gonna be the same, right? It could be a whole.
As I get older, I tend to more believe in reincarnation more so than like I go to heaven or hell.
Yeah,
Right?
I think the heaven is being able to reincarnate and keep living. You know what I mean?
But
Instead of having your energy not transferred.
even with that idea, you as a person, you have no recollection. Excuse me, no recollection, no remembrance, no idea, no remembrance of the past. Right? When you're born, all you remember is when you're born, and even in that, a lot of times when you talk to most people, they just remember stints of okay. If you talk about your age between 10 and 20, what do you remember? You'll remember certain specific, like, couple memories. 20 to 30, couple memories. 30 to 40, couple memories. So, excuse me. So, if you are reincarnated, you're not reincarnated where there's something in you where you're like, I've been here before. No, it's a brand new experience. So it's like that's one thing now where like like for a minute I was shifting toward reincarnation, but I started to question it because it was like, well, how can you be reincarnated, but when you're reincarnated into this world, you don't remember anything previously? You don't remember anything 5 years ago. So how is reincarnation necessarily something that exists? So that's what made me start to kind of like waver
Well,
when it comes to that particular aspect or
isn't that?
perspective.
But that could be the journey, right? That could be the ultimate journey of what life really is. We think life is just what this is on this earth. Like I said, there's other stuff that you're living through, right? So it's like maybe you're not meant to, because your spirit is your spirit, right? Your spirit don't change, right? So it's like just because you don't remember doesn't mean that spirit isn't still there. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but I agree with that. But what I'm saying is like remembrance and forgetfulness is real. So it's like this idea of we're gonna go into heaven and we're gonna party and remember. It's like the idea of remembering who you were on a physical level. I think that's entirely fabricated. That is not realistic. You will never remember who you were on a physical level.
yeah, I'd agree with that. I feel like it's only spiritually that your spirit will
Exactly.
understand what your spirit is
The
or how
same
your
way
spirit
as you
was.
get older, when you think about your younger years, you only remember certain aspects of it. You only remember certain memories. You don't remember the entirety of it. So it's the same thing. It's like people want to act like there's such a intense reasoning to say, oh, well, reincarnation, we're going to remember all this. It's like, think about your entire life in a short period of time. In 10 years, you only remember a couple aspects. 15 years, you only remember a couple. Like when you really boil it down and you really condense it, it's like I don't remember the entirety of that. I only remember certain instances, certain memories, and I just go ahead and just propagate and build an entire idea off of that time, off of these couple of memories. Unfortunately, and I'm like, that's the life we live. I'm like, you can't change that.
But
So
I think, but to tie it all up, I think at the end of the day, once you know right from wrong, because a lot of people, maybe not have, because at the end of the day, the sad part about life, bro, it's not fair. And everybody can't be saved. So within that, if you as a human are trying to do the right, like think about flu, I'm pretty sure there's days that stuff happening, stuff's going on, and something just presents something to you, and it's like you have a position, either you're gonna help or you're not, and then in your mind, you're like, I don't want to do none of that, right? But then your spirit yourself and you just like, man, what do you want? Or man, what do you need? Or man, what did it? And then you end up just helping that person, right? I think that be stuff be a lot of tests that you don't think are tests. You just think that they're, and you're not gonna pass every test, right? We're not human, we're not perfect, right? But the test in, do you have a humane heart? Like you said, all this egotistical greed or all those things clouding your mind to where you can't do something that's so fundamental and just either help, or if you can't help, or even if you can't, hey brother, I can't give you nothing right now, but you keep having a blessed day and you keep trying to fight. Just something positive where it's like, I might not be able to give you something material, but I can give you good energy.
I
So I'm
believe in
like
all
that.
that.
Well, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying I feel like that's just hard as a human to do, especially with all the stresses that are coming with the life, right? You got rent, you got this, you got that. If you're dealing with women, you got to deal with that. Your job, your boss, you got all these elements that can make it so easy for you to be like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do that. I always want to be this type of person. And I think the challenge in life is to try to not to, succumb to those feelings all the time.
I agree with that, but you answered your own question. The reason why people do succumb to those feelings and they veer off of that path is because it's like you deal with so much, you have so much on your plate where it's like, I'm living in this life right now. And yeah, okay, I can live by all these different type of rules, uphold these different type of things, but I saw my mama do that. I saw my grandparents do that. I saw my uncle, my cousin do that. And they had some of the worst deaths I ever seen in my life. So why would I do that? Have the same, what I'm saying, outcome as them and just keep the cycle going. So that's the case. You feel me? Where it's like, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I've seen people who lived an amazing life, as in they want to uphold a certain code, and they've had terrible deaths. I've seen people who they ain't give a fuck about life. They was all about themselves. They was grimy. They lived a terrible. They lived an amazing life, and their death wasn't that terrible.
But
So it's like
then,
it comes to that aspect where it's like, what do you believe in? What do you feel like is the most important thing? Is it what you're doing on this earth, or is it hoping that what I'm saying, you are reincarnated, or you do end up going to the heavens, or you end up whatever you do here translate? Because I'm like, that's the thing. It's like there's a reason why there's classism. The people who are in the higher class, the rich class, their heaven is on earth. They don't want to die. That's why they try to figure out ways to stay alive. And then the people who don't have that, they're the same people who saying you're gonna be lost and you need Jesus, because they believe that my heaven isn't on earth. It's after this. So how do you look at it? Is it people being bitter, or is it people being delusional and not understanding that there's more than this world? You feel me? It's a very
I think
interesting
I think it's both.
aspect.
I think it's like it is jealousy, right? Because they're like, well, if I had that much money, I would want to do this or I'll be doing this, right? But within that, do you know yourself enough to say that you can honestly do that, right? Because I'm like, those people in those positions, because people got to remember, people always think of Satan with these horns and stuff, all this pictory that people like to do. Satan is just something that is around, right? It's like a temptation. It's that thing that you shouldn't do, but it's so tempting and it's so easy to do, right? Like, you shouldn't go steal from your mama purse. That's $20, but then it's that other way. You shouldn't do that because that's not morally right. You right? You feel me? Because remember, God lets the devil do what he does. He
But
lets.
it goes back to what you believe in. Like, you talking about the God and devil and all that stuff, and it's just like
Okay, you could say good feeling, bad feeling.
there's been good feeling, bad. There's been a lot of
You can
people who
say
done a lot
whatever
of
you label it.
nah.
You
There's
don't
been
feel
a
like
lot of people who done a lot of dirty shit and made a lot of money. There's a lot of people who done a lot of foul shit and been great. So it's like,
yeah.
for us to try to make it seem like it's just a simple, what I'm saying, oh, it's this line or it's this line. If you cross it, you hear. If you cross it, you hear it. That's not the case. I'm like, you can be the evilest, dirtiest motherfucker, and you can thrive in this world if you know how to maneuver. Like, nigga, business is business. Business has nothing to do with religion.
No, but I'm saying as far as the evil gets rewarded, and that's why I'm saying life's not fair. The
It
evil
depends
is
on
going to
what
be
evil. Would
rewarded.
you depend on what is evil? It's like niggas who ain't getting rewarded on the shit they getting rewarded will call that shit evil. Niggas who's getting rewarded on the shit they getting rewarded and not getting rewarded on the shit they getting rewarded will call it evil. Does that make sense? I'm making a lot of money, but I'm not getting rewarded on the shit I should be getting rewarded. That's evil. I'm not making no money and I'm not getting rewarded on the shit I'm supposed to be ready. You know what I'm saying? That's evil. So it's like everything is relative. You feel me? Like we in a world right now where everything is like nothing's hidden. Like me growing up, shit was shy, shit was cool, shit was secretive. Nah, nigga. We living in a world right now. It's like, what are you about? Like, there's no hidden nothing. You feel me? So it's like when I see this shit, and it's like that's why I'm like when it comes to the Black Goose TV, y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be more candid. Everything is going. It's like I see what everything is going towards. It's like niggas, y'all be watching, y'all be seeing what's going on. Y'all be vibing. You know what I'm saying? Channels be on. It's like this shit be real. In the case of not, it's like niggas just be like, yo, this is who I am. Niggas either getting money off of that, they not. Niggas either rocking with it, they not. And it's like what I'm seeing is there's this weird disconnect because I'm like with the social media age, like you have this weird, you have this age, limit where it's like, all right, we're not used to this, but we're on the same page. And then you have the underage limit where it's like, oh, we're used to this and we are on the same page. So it's like I feel like that's where we at right now. Where it's like a lot of niggas like, oh, wait, what you? But yeah,
No, it's just like I said, man. Everybody got their journey, right? And everybody got their purpose, and everybody's gonna have their own experiences. Within that, I feel like you as a person have to dictate. Like you said, if you're doing dirt and you're doing these things, and you can go to sleep at night and you feel like you're feeling the greatest, then that's what you feel like you should be doing. But in reality, though, somebody is judging us that's not here, right? Somebody's judging us that we can't see.
all
So
day.
within that, it's like if you want to have your best time on this earth and not care what the repercussions are going to be later, then go ahead and do that. But just like Noah and
That's
the
how
ark,
most niggas move, man.
yeah, but I'm just like Noah and the ark, right? Noah was building that ark and was trying to tell people, hey, man, you get on this ark, man, so you could live. And everybody told him he was a fool. Nah, you weak. You da-da-da-da-da-da. So he was like, okay, bet. Well, I can't save you. All I can do is tell you what's going on. He got the animals in. God closed that door. When the flood started coming, they wanted to come in. He can't open it.
As long as that motherfucking story real, hell yeah, I'm with it.
Well, they claim the rainbow. That's just the signal for, you feel me. He'll never do something
They
like that
also
again.
say the rainbow got to do with finding a pot
Hey,
of gold, nigga, with
I
Irish.
thought you was
You know what I'm
gonna say
saying?
something else, but yeah.
So shit. Now I agree with you 100%, man. I want to salute the people, man. It's been good live, man. I don't even know where the fuck we went with this. Salute to R West. Appreciate this, fellas. I've been sitting back listening to great dialogue. Yeah, man. We've been fuck Hugh Jazz, but also appreciate you. Most likely you subscribe to the
Oh
channel or
man,
something, but fuck you too, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got in, you got out real quick. So that's some bitch shit, but it's all good. Salute to you, nigga. But yeah, man. Anything you want to say to people, Zen, man? You know what I'm saying? It's
hey, man.
Influence Podcast all day.
I hope if anybody comes back and watches this, I hope I'm not trying to make you feel no way, make you feel less of a person. I just hope we all can get to where we need to go.
Absolutely.
Just have positive energy, man. Because I'm like, we all didn't have that spurt where maybe we wasn't just positive. Maybe we just let life kick us down, man. But energy is real. And as long as I feel like you try to keep that positive and do what is morally right for the most part, you feel me? Like I said, we not perfect, right? God know that. We fall by grace. But we fall, but we should saved by grace. So I'm like, man, just keep good positive energy, man. Mr. Positivity next to me, you feel what I'm saying? So he always give me our daily check-ins so y'all can keep pushing, man. Y'all check those out, man.
Man.
He's
Trying
speaking.
to keep them things going crazy. I already know, man. I've been having a crazy ass weekend, all that stuff, man. So if y'all ain't positive, man, y'all on bullshit. Cause y'all don't know what I've been through, man. I've been through too much shit. Nigga. Y'all don't even know what it is. So salute to Zen for even putting out there, saying what he said. I would say, man, both y'all brothers had great messages tonight's live. Yeah, man. I don't know. I can't pinpoint nothing. I feel like we was just riffing and talking about, you know what I'm saying? Anything you want to say to people, Zen, before we get up the fuck out of here, man?
Yeah, man, just keep that positive energy, man. Like at the end of the day, man, just like Fluence was saying earlier, man, and try and enjoy life, be appreciative, be chivalry, you feel me? Go find discovery, man, and don't try to think that what you know is only the thing, is the only thing that's out there of knowledge, man. Try to just, like you said, man, just try to enjoy what's here, man.
J.R. Smith is better than Jason Tatum. This is what it is. Let J.R. Smith have the same type love and openness and
And
just
come in an
green
era
light to
where
shoot as Jason Tatum.
we're just coming in
Like,
an era wasn't like you're a shooting guard. He could just be
yeah,
whatever
like
position he
come
wanted to be.
we talking about this in the beginning of the podcast. It was a different era, man. Niggas was not allowed to be. If you had a certain height and you had a certain attribute, you could not be outside the position. But I'm not even gonna get that. But I always salute to you hopping up in here, Hugh Jazz. Even though you was talking shit, I'm still gonna appreciate you. Lost one, appreciate you being up here and what I'm saying earlier, showing love, man. If y'all come up in here later, whatever the case may be, if you got to this point, hour 15 in, you know what I'm saying? That means y'all really fans of this joint. So you probably already subscribed. But if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, road to 5K, hit the subscribe button. You already know what it is. Like the video, notification gang, comment, all that good stuff. Anything you want to say to people before we get up out of here, Zen, you already know what it is. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to say?
Just be positive, man.
All day, every day, you feel me? Um, I know it is, man. Look out this week. It's gonna be a good week. We're gonna be dropping a lot of content when it comes to the boxing side of the game. And look out for Fluence Lounge this Saturday. It wasn't this past Saturday, but this Saturday is gonna be lit, man. We got some good fights this Saturday. I don't remember off the top of my dome, so I'm not gonna say it, but you already know we're gonna be on. So salute to the people, man. We out here for now. We're gonna be back again on Schwarzenegger side of the game. I'll be back with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed.